What's up, everybody? This is Get2Know, and this is like a late night chat. I'm sure it's not going to be all butterflies and lollipops because that's not what this channel is about. I'm going to wait for a couple people to hopefully jump in here in the chat, see what's on their mind. In the meantime, I figured I'd fill you in on what Get2Know is about, what the mission of Get2Know is, and how you can help with that mission. First of all, as some of you know, hey babe, thank you for being here, Sugar Glider. You are my biggest support, and I will love you forever for that. As some of you know, most of you know, if you've been here before to this channel, you guys know that I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I started being sexually abused at the age of 5. Well, the summer I turned 5 anyway. Say that because I don't remember if it was before my 5th birthday or after my 5th birthday, but the summer I turned 5 till I started growing hair. And I guess you could say the rest is history. My mission here is, it's simple. It's a simple concept, but it's going to take a lot of work and dedication and time to make a change happen. But my biggest focus on what to get changed is the laws and penalties for crimes, for sexual crimes against children. This is just my own personal opinion, but I'm sure I won't get very many of you to disagree with me here. But the way our judicial system is, the way the laws are, the way the punishments are carried out when it comes to convicting a pedophile on a sex crime is absolutely fucking ridiculous. 100% ridiculous. When a person can get more time for trafficking drugs, and again, I'm not saying I condone that. I'm just comparing it. When a drug trafficker can get more time in prison than a pedophile that has been previously convicted 4 times beforehand, standing in court for his 5th time for lewd and lascivious conduct, lewd acts against children under the age of 12. That's a problem for me. It should be a problem for you, whether you have kids or not. You might not have children, but I'm sure you know somebody who does. You might not have children, but you more than likely have a niece or a nephew or a cousin that has kids, or some way, shape, or form you have kids that are involved in your life in one way or another. So when it comes to these crimes and the way our judicial system carries them out, if we were on a grading scale of A through F, I would give our judicial system the letter grade of Z. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. I've seen cases here in my town of pedophiles getting caught and legitimately going on a rider. I'm not sure what area of the country you're from, or if you're even from America, but a rider in my state is a 6 to 9 month, basically a boot camp that they go to, and they can come back and basically be done with their sentence. I know way too many people on a personal level that have been sexually abused in the past, and the numbers just keep growing, and it's absolutely wretched. It's absolutely disgusting how bad this shit's getting here, man. If we don't do something soon, and I mean real fucking soon, pedophilia will become normalized. Adults having with underage children will become normalized. It's already almost there, in my opinion, anyway. It seems like to me our judicial system has things so backwards that it makes me sick. It makes me sick. The biggest mistake that the Reagan administration could have done or did, I believe, in my opinion, is letting Nancy Reagan announce and declare a war on drugs in our country. Well, yeah, drugs are an issue, and that's an issue that usually centers around adults. But don't you think our children are more important than a drug addict? The safety of our children? I mean, my opinion, I believe that I'm a recovering addict. I know that every single one of the people I know that were victimized in the past, they are either currently a drug addict or they are in recovery. And I honestly believe that there would be a whole lot less drug addicts in this country if there were a whole lot less kids being sexually assaulted in their lives. I'm not going to sit here and say that I blame my past drug addiction on being sexually assaulted, but I'm going to sit here and blame most of it on that. The things my abuser would make me do at the ages I was doing them, no child should ever have to endure that. And there is always a negative fallout for that child that's going to come on later in life when they get older, that these cretins have fucking caused for their own personal gratifications. Oh, chat, hang on a second. Sugar Glider's here. Yes. Robin Banks. What's up, Robin Banks? Robin Banks in the chat. Everybody give it up. Whoop, whoop. I'm calling out. I don't care if you have 2, followers, I'm calling out every single creator on YouTube. I'm calling out every single creator's community member in YouTube to come and join me, and let's make a change in this country that's actually going to mean something, that's actually going to make a positive change in this country. We have to protect our kids no matter what. There are almost 1 million registered sex offenders on the National Sex Offender Registry. So if there's almost 1 million on there, how many do you think should be on there? You know, the ones that these prosecuting attorneys approach and say, hey, if you plead guilty to this charge and this charge, we'll drop that charge and that charge, and we won't make you register as a sex offender. I bet you if they quit doing that, that number would at least quadruple. Robin Banks, Sugar Glider, what do you think? Would it be, how would it be? I know that from the time I turned 5 and was first sexually assaulted until about right now, I have struggled with the abuse that I received as a kid. And I know that the course of my life was forever changed for me. But I didn't. My life was forever changed by the actions of one person's own gratification reasons. Pedophilia has to become a top priority in this country. If it don't, pretty soon, instead of it being 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 kids will be sexually abused or sexual abuse victims, it'll probably be every single fucking kid in our country will be victimized by at least one abuser. The top of the category on what was the question? When it comes to sexually abused children and how their lives turn out for them in the future after being victimized, the majority of them have tried illicit drugs at one point in time, and most of them still participate in illicit drugs. So the question is, if we made a change and cut the number in half of children who were sexually abused, do you think there would be more drug addicts in this country or less drug addicts in this country? If there was less children being sexually abused in the future, would that create more drug addicts or less drug addicts? Because my opinion is simple. 99% of people who have been sexually abused as a child, when they get older, they become a drug addict. That's just my opinion. But from what I personally know, and the survivors of sex abuse as a child, It's 100%. Every person I know personally that has sexually abused as a child have been or currently are drug addicts. Every single person I know that has been sexually abused as a child became drug addicts. I'm not saying that that every single drug addict was victimized as a child, but I'm pretty much saying that every single child that's been victimized ends up becoming a drug addict. Whether they are currently a drug addict or have been in the past, that's my opinion. I know the choices that I've made. I know the reasons I tried illicit drugs. And hell, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I wouldn't have tried drugs if I wouldn't have been victimized. But I'm definitely going to sit here and tell you that I tried drugs because I was victimized. I'm telling you right now. That's part of the mission of this channel. It's time that we stand together as one and force a change in this country. Because if we don't, before we know it, they're going to be adding a P to the end of a certain flag in this country. Because it's going to be classified as a special kind of love. Let that sink in for a second. I literally heard a pedophile on a talk show a few years back that he was pissed off because he was being harassed by people. I wouldn't fuck with you, Sugar Glider. I know. You don't want to get no special kind of love from Sugar Glider because she'll fucking. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Damn, do you guys remember what I was saying? I guess by the time this is over and anybody actually sees it, you won't be able to answer that question. So, anyway, if you have a problem with Get2Know, then you're probably a pedophile. If you have a problem, see, now you're doing it again. Sorry for making you lose track. It's okay, babe. You can pay for it later. If you have a problem with Get2Know, you're probably a pedophile. If you have a problem with what Get2Know says or the members of his community says, you're either a pedophile or you support pedophilia. If you have a motherfucking problem with Get2Know, yeah, I probably got a problem with you too because you're fucking a pedophile. One of the other things that I have a major problem with in this country is the National Sex Offender Registry. And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful that it exists, but it's a great concept, but it's a 100% failed program. 100% failed program. People think that once somebody gets put on the sex offender registry, they should be all right. There's certain laws and rules and regulations that these pedophiles got to follow while they're on a sex offender registry. And when a sex offender becomes non-compliant and you inform a sex offender's county police department that sex offender so-and-so is non-compliant, And you can tell them where they're at, how to go get them, whatever. And they literally laugh at you because we don't have time to do that. We don't have the manpower to do that. Well, here's a fucking idea for you. Why don't you take 95% of your fucking drug police and detectives and cycle them on over to the sex crimes division, get them fucking trained, and start making a real fucking difference in the community. If there were less pedophiles in the world, there would be less drug addicts in the world. If there was less drug addicts in the world, there would be less drug trafficking, less drug crime, right on down the fucking line. So why not nip it in the bud and get it at the root of the fucking problem instead of trying to trim it down from the outer branches on down to the bigger branches on down to the trunk of the tree to the motherfucking root problem. The root problem in this country is fucking pedophilia. Period. I don't fucking care what anybody says. There's almost a million registered sex offenders on the sex offender registry. There should be at least 10 million. At least 10 million sex offenders on the registry. And what is this shit with a sex offender? Oh, sorry, the chat. What is this with a sex offender getting put on levels? Like in my state, there's 3 levels: 5 years, 10 years, and 15. Well, 5 years, 10 years, and life. 15 to life on the sex offender registry. But I know I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm pretty close to the most gorgeous looking man in the world, but I'm not the smartest. And I know that I just fucking shouldn't have smoked that bud because I lost my train of thought again. This is ridiculous. Oh, the chat. Hang on. Maybe I'll remember in between that time and this time. Holy crap, you guys are going crazy in here. There's like 50 or 60 of them, man. Holy shit. There would be less for sure. Yes, less for sure. Yep. A lot of abuse turn to drugs to numb the pain. Yes, they do. I know I did. Oh, yeah, the special kind of love comment. Are you really sorry, though? Really? If they don't use drugs, they end up abusing someone else. That's a pretty fair statement. I don't know if it would be just 1 or 2, 50-50, or, I'm sure that most of them turn to drugs. I don't know if very many actual pedophiles or even drug addicts. I mean, they got a bigger addiction to deal with. You know what I mean? Fucking up children. But I agree with you, Robin Banks. I really do. I really agree. The thing that's disgusting is they keep certain statistics on children on sexual abuse, but they don't. And it's ridiculous how they do it. They keep track of anybody who has been sexually victimized between the ages of 1 day younger than 18 to their 12th birthday. They do not keep any fucking statistics from the age of 1 day before they turn 12 up until birth. So in reality, the abuse I received as a child wouldn't be recorded because it started when I was 5 and ended right before I turned 12. So if there's 10 million sex offenders out there, if there's 1 million registered sex offenders out there on the sex offender registry, and they all had only one victim, That's a million victims. 95% of these people that are on the sex offender registry and have to register as sex offenders, they're in their adult. They're at 18 to 70 to 80 years old. If you look at it, and the numbers are disgusting, absolutely fucking disgusting. On average, a pedophile will have no less than 9 victims in their life. I say that's a fucking way low ball number. You got to remember, these numbers are put out by government officials, people in positions of power who are more than likely participating in these acts against children. So if there's a million registered sex offenders on the sex offender registry and they have an average of 9, that's only 9 million children. 9 separate victims. I know the motherfucker that abused me, I know that he started way young in life. And I'm almost positive, well, I know he never stopped. And he's in his 70s now. So if he only ever victimized one child a year, and let's keep it easy, let's say he started at 20 years old and he's now 70. That's 50 fucking years, man. One child every year. That's 50 children. I guarantee you that he got to more than one child. How dumb was that? I guarantee you that he got to more than one child. I almost said it again. One child every year. He probably got 3, 4, 5 of them. So 5 children a year times 10 is 50 in 10 years, 120, 150 in 30, 240, 250 in 50 years. Let that number sink in. 250 children he personally victimized. I can't prove it. I might be off by a few. Hell, I might be a low ball myself on that number. But I'm sure that it's up there in the grotesque amount of children that he has made victims. And why? Well, the first time my abuser got caught, he went to court. It was at the time the Vietnam War was going on. And, well, the prosecuting attorneys and all their glory and wanting to do good for our country would approach my abuser and said, hey, you join the army, we'll sentence you. The military, he joined the army, but they didn't specifically say the army. You join the military, and that'll be your sentence. So he took the plea deal. They transported him from the jail. I don't know how long he sat there in the jail and whatever before they shipped him out to boot camp to fulfill his sentence to his victim. But he gets to boot camp. He walks into the counselor's office and said that he was a homosexual and he received an instant Section 8. Because back at that time, homosexuals weren't allowed in the military. Convenient. convenient. So the first time he was facing charges, he didn't get any kind of punishment. None. He didn't have to go off into Vietnam and fight in the war or police action. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go through boot camp and drill instructors and training and bars of soaps and fucking socks, because you're fucking tum and you don't want to fucking do what you're supposed to do, and you know what I mean. He didn't get to experience all that, but because he joined the military, like he agreed to in his plea agreement, he fulfilled his sentence. So because he got such a little slap on the hand, there was no driving force for him to not abuse another child again. And I know he did, because I wasn't alive at the time the Vietnam War was taking place. I wasn't born until quite a few years later. And then he didn't start touching me and messing with me until I turned 5. I guarantee you right fucking now that the person that he victimized, that he got sentenced to join the military for, I guarantee you that wasn't his. It could have been his first victim. I don't know, but I wasn't his only victim. In between that first victim of his that we're talking about, to me, I guarantee you that. So here comes my sexual abuse, and for 6 years, he did some of the most grotesque things that a man or human being can do to a child. I had certain body part of his stuck in places of mine that no body part of his should ever be close to. I'm not just a molested victim. I am a rape victim. He would make me give him oral. He would, me and the, sometimes he would just make me wrap my hands around him. I know that he is right now currently non-compliant. I know that when I was saying earlier about how there's nobody to watch over these guys once they get on the sex offender registry, they're not still on probation or parole. They don't have somebody that comes and checks on them to make sure they're following the rules and the guidelines of being on the sex offender registry. I know that he's currently non-compliant, and the Bingham County Police Department, oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, my bad. The Bingham County Police Department literally told me, as the detective kind of had a chuckle in his voice, that I must be crazy. We don't have the manpower to make sure that all of these people are being watched correctly. We don't have the manpower to send people over there and arrest him for being non-compliant. Then what's the fucking point of the sex offender registry? Oh, is it just to inform people that this motherfucker's non-compliant? And that he could be living next to you? Is that what it's just about? I don't know. Like, I thought it was about putting these motherfucking pigs on blast and holding them accountable for what they've done in the past, for what they're doing now, and for what they're going to do in the future. When this detective told me that, a little part of me almost died. I said, let me go fucking arrest him. Deputize me. I'll go arrest. I'll get on the sex offender registry every single day, and I'll track them down. Everybody that's non-compliant, I'll fucking arrest them myself. Oh, we can't do that. Well, why not? Well, we can't have a bunch of rogue vigilantes out there doing justice. We can't? What happens if I would? I asked him. He said, well, there could be all kinds of outcomes that could happen. Legal, personal, hell, he could even kill you. I simply replied to him, you know how many times this motherfucker's killed me already in my life? Every single time he fucking made me suck on him, every time he would stick his shit in mine, he murdered a part of me. I would have rather been literally murdered because I would have only had to deal with it once. But every time he did something to me over the course of 6 years, he murdered a piece of me. He took my innocence from me. He physically hurt me. He threatened my life. He threatened my parents' life if I ever told anybody. He would hold a gun to my head some of the times he would do what he was doing to me. And the detective says, well, I'm sorry that happened. You are? Well, do something about it then. This motherfucker is sitting here enjoying his life, doing whatever he wants, probably fucking around with the kid right now. And I can't do shit about it. And you won't do shit about it. And you won't assign anybody to go out there and do something about it. When do the victims get their justice, man? When a man can commit crimes against nature against another man, and that motherfucker that committed these crimes against nature gets 5 months in jail, that's a motherfucking problem. That's a motherfucking problem. Plain and simple. Agree or not? Oh, hang on. I gotta check the chat. Hang on. You don't use drugs, you end up abusing someone else. Yep. Yes, Robin Banks, I agree. The whole system is failed. Yes, the whole system is failed, Robin Banks. The whole system. And not when it just comes to pedophilia. Like, the whole entire legal system is a fucking joke. Remind me in a minute, if I forget, K Sugar Glider, to tell them about my opinions about judges and prosecuting attorneys and how they should be held accountable for their actions. Okay? Thank you. They need tougher penalties. Yes, they need absolutely tougher penalties. I'm down for saying, if you know for sure that this dude is this person, this couple, this husband and husband, this wife and husband, this wife and wife, these if you know, if you walk into their house with a warrant and you find 1,000, 2,000, 100,000. Look at Jared Fogle. He had something like 1.5 million fucking pictures of illicit pictures of children on his computer. When you have a case like that, you can't just say to the judge, "Oh well, I must have pushed a bad link on my laptop and it downloaded it on its own because there's no fucking way that you wouldn't have known that you got a million fucking pictures of children being sexually fucking abused on your laptop if you didn't put them there yourself, you motherfucker." Period. When it's cases like that, they don't need a trial. That says guilt right there to me. When you go in and you serve somebody a warrant on their house when you've been investigating them for however long, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, and they have hundreds upon hundreds of 6-hour VHS tapes that they personally recorded themselves as them abusing children. That says guilty to me. But let's let them go to court. Let's let them have their fucking time because every innocent until proven guilty. Well, guess what? All them fucking tapes that you just got caught with, guilty. All them fucking pictures that you just got caught with, screams to me, guilty. That's guilty. They don't need a fucking trial. They don't need to sit in prison for 4 or 5. They don't need that. They need a bullet to the fucking brain. Yes, that might sound a little drastic, and yeah, it could be, but I don't give a fuck because it's not. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Well, when it comes to pedophilia, America, we are in desperate times. So, therefore, it is time for drastic fucking measures. I know for a fact right now that if the state of Idaho said, if you get caught smoking weed, we're going to fucking execute you, I'd never smoke weed again in Idaho. From that second they said that, I would be in recovery for weed, being a weed smoker in Idaho, and I would never touch a joint, a blunt, a bong, nothing the fuck again. I don't want to lose my life over a motherfucking joint. Yeah, that seems kind of, wow, that's kind of drastic, don't you think? Yeah, it is, especially for weed. However, if you made the penalty in execution for pedophiles, I guarantee you that the very moment that law came into effect and that punishment came into effect, there'd be a whole lot less pedophiles in this country. Either because a whole bunch of them are going to get executed right off the bat, or a whole bunch of them are going to decide not to touch a child again. Sounds like a win-win situation to me. So you might catch yourself saying, well, get to know, who are you going to have carry out these sentences? I'll fucking do it. I'll fucking do it. I have no problems whatsoever saying, I don't. If you've been victimized, I'm almost positive you probably feel the same way too, especially if you endured some of the abuse I went through. I got no problem. There was a couple that was busted here in Pocatello a few years ago. They got busted with a sex dungeon, a torture dungeon, and they had been our sex crimes division was investigating them for quite a few months, and they were literally going to get teenage kids, get them all fucking, shoot them up with methamphetamine, with coke, get them all fucked up out of their mind, get them so fucking incoherent they didn't know what the fuck was going on. They would tie them down, they would hold them down in their sex dungeon, and they would record themselves, husband and wife team, sexually abusing these children for hours on end. In the paper, it said that from what they could tell, They had victims anywhere between the ages of 4 to 17. Well, I would have gladly rolled right up there with those police officers when they served them that search warrant and took them down there in their own fucking little personal sex torture dungeons for these children and put one to both of their foreheads. I would have slept like a fucking baby that night. Now, I do believe that this husband and wife team of pedophiles are up for parole here in a matter of 6 months to a year now. Because the judge that sentenced them on their hundreds upon hundreds of VHS tapes of those two alone sexually abusing these children gave them 7 fucking years in prison. Seems pretty fair to me. Seems like a fair fucking bull fucking shit, man. Here's how it is. Here's how it is. And again, these are just my opinions, okay? So judge me however you want because I don't give a fuck. If you are in a position of power to write out new laws and penalties for crimes, and you are a participant in this crime that you're writing out these punishments for, are you going to make the punishment harsh, like execution, if you get caught? Or are you going to make it so, I don't really care, it don't really matter, because I'm going to make it so you only get a slap on the hand. And if you get busted again, you can get 2 slaps on the hand. Third time, maybe you might go to jail for a month. That's the kind of penalties that are in place. So that tells me that the people that are in positions of power to make these penalties and laws are fucking pedophiles themselves, man. They're fucking pedophiles themselves, man. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you that. Now, when it comes to the in-court stuff, in the courtroom during a trial, let's say I'm in court. I'm the victim. My abuser is in court, and from how I interpret the law, the prosecuting attorney works for me, the victim, and the judge works for me, the victim, and the defendant. So I get victimized. I take my abuser to court. He's sitting in court, and without a word being said to me, and this didn't happen to me personally because my abuser never seen a day in court for what he did to me, but the prosecuting attorney approaches me, or the prosecuting attorney never approaches me, but he approaches the defense attorney and the defendant, and they come up with a plea agreement. Let's say he's in there for 10 counts of lewd and lascivious acts against children under the age of 12 and 5 counts of sodomy towards a child under the age of 15. Okay. So the prosecuting attorney then approaches them and says, okay, if you plead guilty to 1 count of lewd and lascivious conduct and 1 count of sodomy against a child, we'll drop the other 9 lewd and lascivious conduct charges off of you, and we'll drop the other 4 sodomy against a child charges against you, and we won't make you register as a sex offender. Do you raise your hand at this point, Your Honor? Don't I get to say so in this? No, because it's not about you. It's about the motherfucking judge and the motherfucking prosecuting attorney making money for their fucking county and getting a conviction to make sure that they get a conviction. Now, when a plea agreement between a prosecuting attorney and a defense attorney and a defendant is reached, the judge himself has sole discretion on whether he wants to accept the plea agreement or deny the plea agreement. The judge himself is no way bound to uphold that plea agreement. Well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, that fucking judge agrees to that plea agreement. So this motherfucker that raped me 15 times only gets to have to go to jail for 6 months, and he don't have to register as a sex offender, because it's like does him taking the plea agreement is like you saying, okay, you're no longer a sex offender. What? Yeah, let me tell you that again. Okay. Prosecuting attorney goes to the defense attorney, reaches a plea agreement, so that no longer makes him a sex offender. Even though he's getting convicted on 2 sex charges against children, he don't have to register as a sex offender. So because he reached a plea deal with the prosecuting attorney, that no longer makes him a sex offender. Really? Does that work for me? If he takes this plea deal, does that mean that I'm no longer a victim of his abuse? Does that mean I'm no longer a sexually abused victim? I don't believe that's how that fucking works. I really don't believe that's how that works. I believe that I will be a fucking victim of sexual abuse my whole fucking life until the day I die. Every day, all day. Every day. A victim. I don't get to say, okay, well, I'll just register as a victim for 10 years, and then once I do my 10 years, I'm no longer a sex victim. It don't fucking work like that for me. I will forever be a statistic in the sex division. Period. Ain't nothing anybody can do, not even God himself, God Almighty himself, can take away the victim of childhood sexual abuse for the rest of my motherfucking life. But because this prosecuting attorney has just got to make sure he gets that conviction, he makes a plea deal, and poof, that motherfucker is no longer a fucking registered a sex offender. No longer a sex offender. Seems pretty fucked up to me. I'm gonna check the chat again. Hang on. Penalties, yes, should and grown, and all should be accounted for in the statistics. Yes. Every child that is sexually abused should be in the statistic, should be included in the numbers. Period. And well, the reason that they don't, from what I've gathered, is because they want to protect the identity and the innocence of a child. What? By acting like it didn't fucking happen? How in the fuck is that? How is that fucking? I don't got my parents didn't have to tell these people that are taking these numbers what my fucking name was, how old I am. They don't have to tell them anything. I'm a child. They don't have to know that shit. All they need to know is that I was sexually fucking abused to include me in to include me in that number. That's it. I don't have to give. I wouldn't have to give them my name, my age, my address, my details, my birthday. None of that shit, man. None of that shit. My identity is perfectly fucking my identity on who I was as a child could have been kept anonymous. They don't have to know my name to include me in their numbers. If they included the ages from birth to the day before they turn 18, the number of victims in this country would be fucking so disgusting that I'd have 1 million people in my chat right now saying we need to do something. Yeah, I would. I guarantee you that. Pull your fucking heads out of your asses, judges and prosecuting attorneys. Quit catering to pedophiles just so you can get a fucking conviction. If you had enough faith in your own fucking ability, Mr. Prosecuting Attorney, Mrs. Prosecuting Attorney, Mr. or Mrs. Your Honor, whoever the fuck you are, if you had the integrity and you believed in the system, then that person that committed those 10 acts of lewd and lascivious conduct against the child and those 5 acts of sodomy against the child, you would get 15 motherfucking convictions. Easy. So by you making a plea agreement with these motherfuckers, that tells me that either A, you support pedophilia, B, you're a fucking pedophile, or C, you have no fucking faith in what your abilities are as a fucking prosecuting attorney, so you probably shouldn't be doing your fucking job. Period. When a judge accepts these fucking plea deals, shame on you, Your Honor. Shame on you, Your fucking honor. Over, motherfuckers. Game fucking over with this shit, man. Game fucking over, man. Let's hit that fucking game over button on these fucking pedophiles, you guys. I'm serious. Nicolina, Rap, all of you. I'm calling you out. Let's do some real fucking good. Let's do some real fucking good. Let's make a positive change. Let's take on the country's biggest fucking problem together to protect our children at all costs, right? It's a fucking joke, man. What a joke. What a joke. All of you. Steve, Viking Steve, I know he's got my back 100%. I'm calling you out too, bud. Every creator, I'm calling them out. No Life Shack, Pharaoh, stand with me. Join me, and let's make a real fucking change in this country before it's too late. And it's almost too late, everybody. It's almost too late, everybody. I don't care who you are. You know somebody or multiple somebodies who have been sexually abused. You probably know somebody, but don't know it, who is currently being sexually abused. I guarantee you right now that no matter who the fuck you are, you know somebody who is abusing a child. You probably don't know they're abusing the child. Shit, that child could probably be yours if he's fucking abusing. What's the bigger problem in this country? What's the biggest problem in this country? But yet I see creators saying they want to do good and make a change in our country and blah, 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 blah. The only change you guys or most of you guys are making are the change of your fucking bank account. That's what you're making. That's it. So, again, I challenge every creator on YouTube, every creator's fucking community members, come join up with Get2Know. Let's stand together for our children. And if you don't have children, let's stand together for someone else's children. Because this shit is fucking garbage. Garbage. Think about it, you guys. most people are so caught up on some of the dumbest shit that's going on in the world today that pedophilia is slipping right underneath their rug into their house. Right now, what does like you say the numbers were? What does like you say the numbers were? Something like at any given moment in the United States, there's no less than 300,000 people trying to get to your kids through that camera right there. Through that camera right there. Right there. This is all it takes to create a sex victim in this country. This is it. This is all it takes. This is all it takes nowadays. You don't even have to say, well, I kept my kids at home and protected. Well, you know what? You might have kept your kids home and protected from being physically abused. But I'm telling you right now, a lot of you guys, when your kids get older, your kids are going to come to you and they're going to say, you know what I was doing when I was younger? Just because somebody doesn't physically get touched by another person, that doesn't mean they're not a sex victim. It doesn't mean that. If a 12-year-old girl sends pictures to whoever she sends them to because they think that this person is another person, did that 12-year-old girl's sexuality get victimized? Yeah, it did. It did. But you guys want to focus on the stupid shit and say that it's a problem. You mean to tell me that Jimbo Collins' wife writing a bad check for a fucking car is a bigger problem than fucking 300,000 kids being sexually victimized right now in this country? You want to focus on stupid shit like that? Then fuck you. Straight up fuck you, man. When you do that kind of shit, I almost think you're okay with pedophilia. You support pedophilia? If you don't, stand with me, motherfuckers. Yeah, that's right, motherfuckers. Yeah. Oh, no, but you think it's more important to fucking make jokes about people who ain't got no teeth? Well, eat that one, you fucking rat bastard. Woo! Fuck you, bro. I want to make a positive change in this country. You know why? So your son don't get fucking victimized, you fucking punk. Yeah, I just said that. Will I regret it later? Fuck no, I won't. There ain't nothing in the world any one of you motherfuckers on YouTube can do to me that somebody hasn't already done to me more fucked up than you. Straight up. You ain't gonna get to me, motherfuckers. I don't care who you are, dude. I'm on a mission to do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do my mission. I'd like some help along the way. It's gonna be one hard motherfucking mission to accomplish on my own, or with 2 other people following me, having my back, supporting me. But you know what? At least I can say I fucking try to make a difference, and didn't sit there and say, hey, let's send this motherfucker to Clown Island. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro. Did I really just do that? Yeah, I just did that. And I don't care. I really don't. Because if you're one of these people that I just mentioned, and you want to come in here and try to give me shit, what? Are you a pedophile? You support pedophilia? That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. I mean, you might be this fucking big time motherfucking who you might be. You might just be a little fucking computer geek behind the motherfucking computer screen saying, the fuck, bro? The fuck, dude? What difference are you making? The only difference you're making is your fucking bank account. Yeah. Yeah. I got some help from these people, and I'm grateful for that. This has nothing to do with that. I can put my differences aside for just about anybody, except for a pedophile. I can stand side by side with somebody that I absolutely do not like and want to rip their fucking heart out for a good cause. What are you guys going to do? I guarantee you that you're going to sit there in your little fucking communities and continue doing what you're doing, saying this shit about this person and that shit about this person, collecting a fat paycheck as you do. What difference are you making? I'm not about making a positive change in my bank account here. If you know anything about me, you know I'm fucking poorer than dirt. What? This laptop I'm on, my aunt gave it to me because she went to fucking prison, or I wouldn't have it. This cell phone I've got, 6 years old, that my mom bought for me because I couldn't afford one. You don't see me out here peddling. And I'm not saying everybody that puts their Cash App out here is a piece of shit. I'm not. Hey, do what you're going to do, man. Do what you're going to do, man. But for the most part, if you're flying your motherfucking Cash App across the bottom of the screen, you're a douchebag. Duke Pharaoh, you're a kick-ass dude, bro. You're a kick-ass dude, bro. I have never had a problem with you ever. White Boy Radio, no problem, man. Fly your shit, bro. You guys are doing some positive shit for yourselves, man. Do what you want. Do what you will. But maybe let's make a difference in our own. Let's make a difference in our country. Let's make our country better. Yeah, let's get to know. Let's make a change together. One of us, 100 of us, 1,000 of us are not going to make the change that are not going to be enough of us to be making these changes that need to be made. If all these communities on YouTube got together, No Life Shack, who else can I name here? Chills, Nuke's Top Fives. Come on. Dolly Vision. I don't even like Molly Go Lightly, but fuck. Molly Go Lightly, come on. Blowhorn Betty. I ain't going to say BK because, anyway, the absence of Benny isn't the absence of fucking Keys. What? Oh, sorry. My bad. I'll probably try not to add that out later either, but you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it's time for somebody to fucking say what needs to be addressed here. And who Ernie Shell is fucking scamming out of money this week? It's not what needs to be addressed here. It's not. Plain and simple, it's not. What needs to be addressed is the biggest problem in our country, and that's people getting away with victimizing our children. These pedophiles need to be dealt with swiftly. Changes need to be made. All sex crimes against children should be federally mandated and seen in federal court and not on a state-to-state level, because that just makes shit confusing. It just makes shit even harder. Legitimately. Most of the people that I know who have been victimized, they never got justice for what happened to them. most of their victimizers walked out of court free and clear. Probably the mass majority of my friends that have been victimized, their victimizers have walked out of court. Why? I already said it, man. Shame on you judges. Shame on you pedophiles. Shame on you prosecuting attorneys. Shame on any motherfucking buddy who has a problem with motherfucking Get to Know and the things we want to fucking do to make a change in our country. Shame on you. Shame on you. I'm going to wrap this up, I believe. Whether you support Get to Know or not, whether you want to support Get to Know or not, please do me a personal favor. Keep an eye out on your kids and keep them protected, man. Because sex offenders are all over the place. All over the place. And if you happen to have children and they make it through their childhood without being victimized, well then, I take my hat and my glasses off for you. Thanks for joining Get to Know. If you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, like, subscribe, leave a comment, whether it be negative or positive. I don't give a fuck. Because even your negative comments help me out on my mission. So to all you who don't like me, support me. Thank you. I love you all. Later.